Wistoria Wand and Sword, the Undying Will of Steel. In a world where magic decides everything, power, destiny, even the worth of a person, those without it are treated as nothing more than shadows, forgotten by society. The gifted soar to greatness, crowned with honor and glory, while the powerless are left behind. But sometimes, it is within the most unlikely of souls that the fiercest fire burns. This is the tale of Will Surfort, the boy without magic, who dared to dream of becoming a Magyavander, the highest title of mage, a rank only legends can reach. And though the world called him a fool, he carried within his heart a blade sharper than any spell, forged in love, loyalty, and an undying will. Will's journey begins with a promise. As a child, beneath a canopy of stars, he stood beside his best friend, Elfaria, a girl whose magical talent shone brighter than any other. Together they vowed that one day they would reach the summit of the magical world, both becoming Magyavanders. But as the years passed, destiny favored only one. Elfaria rose swiftly, becoming the youngest Magyavander in history, while Will discovered he had no magical power at all. Their paths diverged, and society declared him unworthy. Yet, he refused to abandon that promise. For Will, love was not just a feeling, but a vow carved into his very soul, and he would fight against the impossible to one day stand by her side again. That vow led him to Rigarden Magical Academy, a place where prodigies of spellcraft honed their power. For most, it was a dream. For Will, it was a battlefield where his every step was mocked, his every attempt dismissed. Surrounded by students who conjured storms, flames, and illusions, he alone wielded nothing but a sword. To many, he was a failure clinging to delusion. But in Will's eyes, his blade was more than just steel. It was hope. Though bereft of magic, Will carried a secret gift, the ability to absorb sorcery and channel it through his sword. It was not enough to earn him glory, but it was enough to give him a fighting chance. And in a world where no chance was ever given to him, he would forge his own. Every duel, every hunt, every dangerous trial at Rigarden became a crucible. While others cast spells from a safe distance, Will charged headlong into danger, his sword clashing against the impossible. He endured wounds, humiliation, and countless defeats, yet each one only tempered his spirit further like steel hammered in fire. In the Academy's shadowed halls and monster-filled fields, Will's legend began to grow. He faced beasts that towered over walls of magic, creatures born of nightmare, and rivals who sought to crush him. Again and again he rose with bloodied hands and unbroken eyes. To fight without magic in a school built on sorcery was madness. And yet, in that madness, he inspired others. Those who once scorned him began to respect him, for his courage was undeniable. His enemies could not understand how a powerless boy stood against them, how he defied the very laws of their world. The truth was simple. Will did not fight with spells. He fought with heart. But his struggle was not only about strength. At the core of his journey was love, loyalty, and the weight of a promise that refused to die. Elfaria had become a shining star too far away to reach, burdened by responsibilities as a Magyavander, while Will remained on the ground, still climbing. His dream was not to surpass her, but to stand beside her once more, not as the boy left behind, but as an equal. That dream pushed him forward, through every bruise, every sneer, every impossible trial. Yet, Rigarden's trials were only the surface of a deeper storm. The Academy concealed secrets darker than its shining halls suggested. Shadows whispered of conspiracies that threatened not only its students, but the balance of the magical world itself. Ancient forces stirred, forbidden powers slumbered, and behind the veil of order loomed chaos ready to engulf all. Will's battles were not simply for pride or recognition. but for survival against dangers that could consume everyone he held dear. And still, he never wavered. His blade cut through despair as though it were flesh. His resolve burned brighter than any spell. Each battle became a symphony of defiance. The crackle of magic colliding with steel, the roar of beasts silenced by a single strike, the gasps of rivals who realized too late that the boy they mocked was forging himself into something greater than any spellcaster. Will Serfort was not born special. He was not chosen by destiny. He was not blessed with magic or fame. And that is what makes his story electrifying. He fought, he bled, he endured, not because fate handed him strength, but because he seized it with his own hands. He became a living truth, that power is not defined by what you are given at birth, but by what you choose to become. For Will, every scar was proof of perseverance. Every strike of his blade a declaration to the world. I may not have magic, but I have something stronger. His sword became his spell, his courage, his incantation, his will, his power. And in time, even those who once doubted him would come to see that his spirit was a force that could not be broken. Wistoria Wand and Sword is not just a tale of fantasy. It is a story that speaks to the soul. It is about love that endures beyond distance, about dreams that survive ridicule, about a will so unyielding it can carve destiny itself. Will Serfort's journey is not merely about becoming strong, it is about proving that even when the world denies you, you can rise, you can fight, and you can burn brighter than those born with every advantage. In the end, Will's story is not the tale of a boy without magic. It is the legend of a warrior who carried a sword that shone brighter than sorcery, a boy whose love and loyalty shaped him into a hero. In a world ruled by spellcraft, he became the anomaly, the defiance, the spark that would inspire generations. And though magic defined the world, Will Serfort proved one unshakable truth. The will of steel can cut through destiny itself.